Hey man, how's it going?
Oh, not too bad. Enjoying the Sunday. It snowed on Friday. That was
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah, I'm also enjoying today. Um, yeah, welcome back everybody to Bite My Shiny Metal Cast, the series where we talk about Futurama and all the things about the new series, everything, right? The new Hulu run. What are we on? Episode 9, the penultimate episode, The Trouble with Truffles. Right. So yeah, you and I actually haven't really spoken about this episode much, and I guess there's
No,
kind of a
barely,
reason.
barely.
Yeah.
It's a little forgettable.
It is a bit forgettable. There's not much in this episode that is worthy to really remember, honestly. There are some funny lines, but I think that you and I are both kind of in the same ballpark. It's like eh, it is what it is. It's not that bad per
Y-
se, but
No, it's
it's
it's a fun Bender episode, but like it just
yeah.
feels unbendery, if that makes sense.
Well, to me, I felt like it felt like it was every other Bender episode. You know what I mean? Like there was nothing really new with it. Like Bender discovers something new. He wants to make money or make X. He then does X, and then he does X by himself. He figures out that this problem is what's causing the reason why he can't do it, and then he learns a lesson. It's basically the
And
same
then
thing,
ignores it.
and then ignores it by the end. Basically, yeah. It's
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The ending for this one just kind of it was a little
it's.
abrupt.
I was gonna say this is a reminder of the previous two seasons, right, or the
Oh,
previous two sides or whatever, where they just have see the endings just don't really do much and we're never going to see this new character again. But yeah, I think overall it's okay. I will say actually, in our predictions video, I was mostly right. And you and I, when we were talking about this, because obviously this title, Trouble with Truffles, was indeed about Truffles, the mushroom, the fungus,
yep.
and it wasn't Zoidberg, which I had said. Well, you had said like, oh, he likes eating, so it's probably going to be with Zoidberg. I thought maybe Zoidberg would be like sniffing them out. It wasn't with Zoidberg. It was actually with a new character. But I was right
Yeah.
that Bender would be the one looking for them. So
Well, we
kudos
just
to
had
me.
three titles that were all food related: murderoni, like pepperoni, and
Yeah.
rather than macaroni.
But crab
And
splatter is not a crab splatter is not
I know, but the thing is, it was like a crab's platter because you just move the s over to
well, you
to the
don't.
end of the next
But it's
word.
still not a crab
You say
splatter.
it, you say it fast. It sounds like crab's platter.
Yeah,
So
crab splatter.
yeah, crab's platter.
Crab
Yeah, yeah,
splatter. Yeah.
yeah, crab's platter. And yeah, they're just all very food related. So that's what I thought. I don't know. It
Maybe.
feels weird just in general for Futurama to have a food related thing. The only one that made sense out of the whole entire uh everything of Futurama was when Bender wanted to become a chef, but he couldn't because he didn't have taste.
Hence why
That's the
I
only thing
chose
that
Bender
kind
for
of
the truffles.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only one that kind of made sense. And like yeah, we haven't seen him do any cooking in the last few seasons. I
Hmm.
will admit to that. So yeah,
Yeah.
but just this one felt weird,
Yes. And
off. It felt off. There we go.
yeah, and I think in both of our predictions, believe it or not, actually, in our predictions, I chose a smaller number than you did. Like I think I was like 5 out of 10, and
I said
you,
like six.
I think you did a safe 6. And
Yeah.
the reason I think I remember I did is just because it's something I didn't have high hopes for this episode, and although it was written, I believe, by David A. Goodman,
Yep.
and he's like one of the ones that's he's been around in the industry for a long time. He's written on multiple other shows, so
Yeah,
he's really
big
good.
producer,
Mhm.
producer for
And he's produced the
Futurama.
show for a long
Yeah.
time, like from the beginning. But I was just like, there's something about this episode. I don't think it's gonna be good. And honestly, I'm I wouldn't put it as low as a 5, but it's still not great. So
No.
yeah, everybody, we all know the drill. So I'll do a quick synopsis, then you and I can get into our positives and our negatives. So the
Yeah.
synopsis of this episode is basically so Ben like Leela and Fry are they're living together now, obviously at their apartment, and they're being together, but Bender's also there. So Leela tries to get Bender to get out, and Bender says, "Why don't you get out?" And they end up being at the same restaurant. They go to a very new Elzar's restaurant, and this restaurant is basically like what Elzar's restaurant was before, except it's for the even more rich. Okay, so we have
Oh, there we go.
Calculon. We have like a bunch of these other little cameos and the
Oh, yeah,
robot
I do like
mafia.
Calculon.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah,
Can I get something off the menu? Yes, sir. Here's our off the
off of
menu
it.
menu.
It doesn't look like off the menu enough for
And
whatever
then
reason.
yeah,
It's
he
not
sees
pretentious enough. Yeah.
he sees the three of them eating truffle. He's like, "Is that on the regular menu?" "Yes." "Damn."
so so any case, the three of them are all there for this, and yeah, we also see the robot mafia who do make themselves heard because they're going to be a little bit more important later in the episode. But in any case, they have this meal. It's quite good, but the main thing that they all have, that something that's added to their dish, are slices of truffle. Okay. And so they all love them. They think they're delicious and all this stuff, but they're very, very, very expensive. So what happens is Fry can't pay the bill. So the robot mafia offers to pay for the bill, but then in quote unquote years' time, in many years, they'll ask Fry to do a favor for them. And so Fry says, "Yeah, why not? I might be dead by then, so who cares?" So anyway, he accepts their offer and they pay the bill and everything. But Bender gets intrigued by the idea of these truffles because they can make a lot of money. So we have Bender leave and he goes on one of his little quests and he goes to these like asteroid areas where they mine truffles with
Yep.
mutated pigs. Okay, these mutated pigs, they
Oink.
speak and all this stuff. It's kind of funny. They're also like there's a lot of French in this, like not French speaking per se, which is kind of a
French
dead
accent,
language, but
though.
the French accent is there. And French in France does still exist, so it's not unheard of to be like to be
Yeah,
there.
so,
But there's a
I
lot
was
of
gonna
jokes at the French in this episode,
yeah, I
actually.
saw that. I'm like, "Isn't that a continuity error with French people?" And then I read a comment somewhere on Reddit saying like, "Yo, France and French people still exist." I'm like,
Yes, France
"Yeah,
and French people still
okay."
exist. It's the language that doesn't exist, but the guy still says "oui," but it's
Yeah.
the one word, so it's not really that big of a deal. But whatever. Any case, Bender also needs a mutated pig for truffle hunting, and so he ends up getting this one that's actually sold. It's actually paid off for him to take. It's actually this tiny little pig, who's played by
$2, negative $2.
who's the? I think he gets $20 for her, right? Who's the actress
Yes, man.
again? Marina
Maria Bamford.
Maria Bamford. Okay,
Yeah, she's been around for a little while, but I still feel like she's kind of unknown unless you know about her. She was in a few
yes,
things.
if you
I
recognize
thought
her
she was like
name,
a yeah. I think she was a female comedian that eventually transitioned into voice acting. Because you look at her IMDb, there's a lot of voice acting stuff she's done on there.
sure.
But I swear I thought she had a stand up on Netflix, which I didn't watch. But
Sure. Maybe,
yeah,
maybe she had. I don't know either. Like, I think you and I were talking about this beforehand. I only knew her from like one of the seasons or two of the newer seasons of Arrested Development, and even
10
then,
years
she
ago,
wasn't
yeah.
even that. Yeah, she wasn't even that big of a character. So that would be one thing. But I didn't know who this was either. But in any case, she doesn't sound anything like that in real life. I think that she put the voice
No.
on for the pig.
Yeah, yeah. She
So
sounds a lot like Martin from The Simpsons, but she's not.
right, like the pig does, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the pig, yeah, the voice acting.
So Bender gets this pig who he names Jambone, and Jambone is tiny little baby pig. He's like a brand new, brand new mutated pig. So all the other pigs are these massive, like horrible French speaking pigs, and this one is like this American tiny little pig. But he wants to do well, and he loves that Bender took him
Mr.
in and
Bender,
all this
sir.
stuff. Yeah. So, anyways, Bender and he become like unlikely friends, and blah blah blah. They go looking for truffles.
Well, Bender,
So
not so much.
well, he tries, right? So, any case, they finally find one after all these little hijinks. They finally get one, and they're able to bring it to the guy. I believe he's played by Billy West. We've seen him before. He's like in this. I think he was in the How the West was 101001 or something like that, and he was the um just like not the bartender, but somebody who worked one of the shops or whatever. He's like this old
Oh, yeah, geez.
sounding guy, right?
I don't think he's played by,
I
Billy West.
No, shut up. He has to be played by Billy West. It must be him. It's not David Herman.
I'm
Don't trick
I'm
me.
try I'm trying to look for this because it's like the bitter fat guy, no, I don't
No,
know
he's
where it is.
he's
It's not on here.
oh really? Maybe he's just uncredited. I'm almost positive it's Billy West. I'm almost positive. I'm like 99% sure. Any case, he tells him like, well, the what do we want to call them? The truffle syndicate or whatever they were called
Yeah,
in the story. They run the whole shipment and the whole section out here, so they need their cut, and it's basically like all of it except for like $100 out of Bender's 3,000. So Bender's kind of pissed off because he worked so hard, and the pig worked so hard, but they only made like $100 or $10 even out of
10
their
bucks, yeah,
set.
yeah. I think he offered them $1,000. The guy's name is Cookie. He is played by Billy West.
Thank
He's just
you,
not
Cookie.
credited
Yes.
on IMDb or anyone else.
Okay, thank you. So Cookie is back, and we've seen him before, but yes, yeah, he
Yeah,
offers them.
so
He says $3,000, but he only gives them 10 because the cut goes to the rest of the syndicate or whatever, the Truffle Syndicate.
yes.
So He then tells them, however, that there is another asteroid out in the cosmos, like a little bit farther away from their asteroid, where all these truffles are being grown or found, I guess, that no one has ever come back from. There's apparently a ton of truffles there, but no one's ever gone there before. So Bender's like, well, let's go. So he brings his pig, and they
On a
scooter on there,
scooter.
like this electric scooter or space scooter, whatever. They go there, you know, Futurama physics, and they get to this weird asteroid thing, and it's just covered with this green moss stuff that happens to also be like just foliage. It's a tree. So there's, because we all know that mushrooms have to grow within like shady, dampy areas.
Yep.
That the trees basically cover this asteroid. So tons and tons of mushrooms, tons of truffles. But there's also a lot of dangerous creatures on here. So they have things that like giant stick bugs and other things. So Bender and Jambone are kind of
Thorns.
in a dangerous area. Yeah.
Yeah.
However, Jambone does find
A
like
lot.
millions of dollars worth of truffles, which Bender has in this like giant sack thing that he brought with him. So, in any case, near the end of it, they're getting away, and there's like this. I think it's like a grass dragon thing or a tree dragon or whatever.
Leaf dragon or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you know it? On the other side of this, Bender is called in by the robot mafia to do their job for them, even though they said it would take thousands or like hundreds of years or whatever. It's only been a couple days, so they call in Fry, and they just need to borrow his ship. Just so happens that the Planet Express ship lands on that same asteroid, bringing Fry and the robot mafia, and crushes the dragon right before it eats Bender and Jambone. And it turns out that the robot mafia, the entire robot mafia, mind you, is the entire Truffle Syndicate. And so they're actually the ones running this, and they're the one. And Cookie informed them that Bender was there collecting the truffles, so they were there to take Bender's stuff. So they end up taking the truffles, and everybody's kind of safe. But in the end, Jambone is released by Bender and says like I can stay here, and I'm happy to be here or whatever. But Bender, to reward him, decides to give him a piece of his truffle. Jambone refuses at first due to, I think there's some kind of moral issue here about slavery or something. But in any case, he says no. He tries it anyway for Bender, and then he sneaks into the cart and he eats all the truffles. So later, it turns out these truffles are going to this gluttonous award ceremony hosted by Calculon and a bunch of other people we've seen before, but we haven't seen for a long time. Hedonism Bot gets an award. And then when they bring out the truffles to feed everybody, Jambone is in there. And Jambone is massive and basically ate everything. Exactly. And it turns out he just couldn't help himself because he was genetically altered to like look and desire these truffles. He couldn't stop himself eating, and he becomes a giant pig. And
like Fat Bender in the What If machine.
Basically, yeah. Which is another kind of little connection I guess they have. But then everybody's like, well, if we can't have the truffles, let's have pork. To which they're about to eat Jambone, but Hedonism Bot, who had just won the award, said like, no, he's one of us. He's a gluttonous pig, literally. We're not going to eat him. We're actually going to celebrate him. And then basically the episode ends with all of them celebrating that Jambone is indeed a gluttonous pig and that truffles are delicious. That's it. That's basically the episode.
It just abruptly ends.
Yeah. It's a bit crude, and I've left out a few things, but honestly, it is literally that. It is literally that. We go into our positives and our negatives. Like, my positives for this episode are there are a few funny lines. I think the Robot Mafia is always up there for me, and I don't know if you caught this in the episode or near the end of the episode when the Dawnbot shows up and he's like, "We're the Truffle Syndicate. We're the entire Truffle Syndicate." This is literally a callback to the very first time we ever meet them, and he says, "We're the Robot Mafia. The entire Robot Mafia." This is literally the callback to that. And I thought that was so funny. I'm like, if you hadn't paid attention to that, if you hadn't remembered that from like 25 years ago, there's no way you'd get that reference. But because you and I have just recently seen all these episodes, I kind of remembered it in my head. So I thought that was pretty good. How about you? Any positives that stand out?
There's a lot of cameos back in this one, like the fat guy that Amy's parents tried to set him up with on the Titanic.
That's right.
Yeah, putting his hand in bisque. He had a couple moments at the end there when he's like
Professor's ex-girlfriend who was like pretended to be skinny, but she was actually quite fat when he pretended to be young. What was that? 300 Big Boys.
300 Big Boys. Yeah. Because I think Tress MacNeille and Maurice LaMarche they played a lot of the big fat people. Well, because Tress MacNeille is just awesome. She's a great voice actress.
She does everything. Yeah.
But Mom was also there, who is not technically fat. She just loves
She's
money,
rich.
but she's rich and
She's rich.
Truffles,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The same with
And
Calculon. Like, he's not fat per se. He's also a robot, so he's just there.
what?
Yeah,
Yeah, but was he there at the end in the
he was
thing?
on
Do you
hosting.
remember? Oh
Calculon
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
hosting.
Well, that
Yeah,
that to me is just they got a celebrity to host. It's not necessarily that he was there to be a glutton,
hmm.
but you also see
He was the one that wanted to eat Jam. He was the one that started off Jambone's like,
okay,
let's
yeah.
have pork. Yeah. So,
The huge gelatinous blob is also there.
yep,
So
makes sense.
there's just a lot of cameos. We get to see Igner again, also not mentioned to be ever related to the
Nope,
professor.
never will
Um,
be. It's our little
yeah,
thing now.
just there's lots of little jokes and stuff like that, and I kind of love like Bender just being Bender, and then Jambone just like, hey, Mister Bender, you want to be friends? Yeah, whatever. Let's go hunt for truffles there, truffle pig,
Yeah.
and it's just kind of Bender being Bender, and
Yep.
like he does save him when the giant leaf monster is like, hey, stop chewing on my
My
truffle
friend or
finder,
whatever. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
or whatever it was.
And then like
So
the ship lands on it, spits him out. He's like, I'm back.
yeah,
Yeah, I think there's like, yeah, there's a few little jokes. I do like the trying to remember, even at the very beginning when like Fry and Leela are getting intimate, and they're, for whatever reason, they're sitting on Bender like while they're doing this, and while he's trying to watch TV. And they're, oh, this was actually pretty funny. I like this. So did you get the reference with the Hypnotoad? So they're watching Hypnotoad, and then
yes,
Hypnotoad pops up with like another Hypnotoad neighbor.
yeah,
This is from Home Improvement.
over the fence, yeah, because there was a
over the
fence.
over the fence thing, right? And he's like, "Oh, he has a neighbor now." I just thought that was hilarious because they just keep changing the Hypnotoad just slightly. So I thought that was a pretty nice joke. And
Well,
then when they're at the restaurant, there's some funny things there with the like ordering their food and like
oh
Fry's like
yeah,
freaking out about the
Elsa
bill and
Elzar adding
Elzar.
up the bill is like, yeah, it was $40 for the or $60 for the food, and then like it was like $800 for the
For
truffles.
this
So yeah, $30,000.
$30,000. And Fry's like, ah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. Well, here's a question for you. Have you
yeah.
ever had truffles before?
I have had truffles before. I think they're fine. I'm not a big mushroom guy, but I
I
think
like
they're
mushrooms. I'm trying to remember if I had. I swear I did, but they were probably like lower end
they're
truffles,
the
the ones that
lower
us
end.
as it
Yeah.
gets. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you also don't go to those like big fancy restaurants very often. So I
No,
would say
no,
like,
God, no.
I'd say like the time that you would have had it is if you had it served to you like at dinner, like at home, or if
No, no, it's
you had tried it
I
elsewhere.
have
But
gone to fancy restaurants. I just don't care for them because it's like, cool, you're charging me $40 per piece of
it's
chicken
not it.
nugget?
Don't, no, 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 no. Don't lie to the audience.
$40 for a piece of chicken nugget, and I got 3 chicken
Don't lie
nuggets.
to the audience. The reason you don't like going to those is because you don't like wearing nice clothes. Do not
Oh,
give
yeah,
me
no,
that.
I don't like that either, but the food is also expensive. Like, it could be more than just a few things I hate, but I just don't like wearing fancy clothes. The
That's
pants
pretty.
are comfy, but the shirts are not. Ugh, ugh.
It's
But, like,
unfortunate.
in Vancouver, when I lived there was a few times I went to, fancy places, and I don't think I had truffle
No.
slices or whatever there. Might have been truffle oil and some stuff, which is different, I would say, but
Yeah.
similar. But, yeah, I don't care for paying lots of money for extra food when I can literally buy 2 weeks worth of groceries
Yeah.
and make good just as good food or
I
ones
think
I
it.
like.
Yeah, I think it's the flavor and the atmosphere of having it in that situation, right?
Yeah,
That's what it is.
there's a
But
lot of things is only you can experience this through money, and no one else can do that through money.
with
And
this
that's kind of
particular
what yeah.
situation, that's what this is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
exactly what this
so
is.
yeah. Well, let's move on to our negatives then. So like the negatives of this episode is that it is kind of forgettable.
Yeah.
There's
It's
we're never going to see Jambone again, and if
oh,
we do,
never,
it's going to be
please
a
no.
cameo at
Yeah,
best.
please no.
Um, I think that there are a few. I mean, it's kind of boring, I guess. Like it's okay to see Bender on one of his little hijinks, but it's not really like, yay, he's French now, and yay, he's going to look for truffle. I guess like, I don't know. It gives me a lot of that free will hunting episode kind of thing, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a little less
I like
sad.
that one because, I mean,
Yeah.
the idea of free will was an interesting idea and stuff like that, but I don't think they necessarily got it off right, but they did question it right. This
Mhm.
one, yeah, you're right. It's just kind of an adventure that didn't really have any, uh,
There's no circumstances to it.
consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Positive
not
or negative,
circumstances.
but
Yeah, not circumstances. There's no consequences. Sorry, no consequences to it. It's just
yeah, purpose, whatever
it's
you wanna call it,
it's
yeah.
another one of Bender's get rich quick schemes that ultimately doesn't really do much for anything else. But
It
it's
doesn't go
fine.
anywhere. Yeah, it doesn't go good
Yeah,
for him, it doesn't go bad for him, it ends exactly the same at the end of the episode.
basically, because the Robot
Yeah,
Mafia get all of his earnings, and then at the end, it turns out that all the truffles were eaten anyway by Jambone, right?
yeah.
So yeah, a little bit of a continuity thing, I guess, with the French. But again, France exists because we know that from
And French
Pazuzu.
people.
Yeah, and the French people, but Pazuzu is also in France, right? That's where he lives,
Yeah.
and he also does speak French. Funny enough, but very minor. And then yeah, the guy who says "we," but I mean, not really a big deal, right? Like here and there, there's some French. It's not really that big of a deal for the for Futurama continuity. But yourself, then, any negatives that kind of stick out in this one?
I don't really care for Jambone. I like honestly, why the hell did they get a voice actor for that? Like, it's the same as I
Yeah,
kind of have the same issue as this. What I had when they had Cara Delevingne, Clara, whatever her name is.
Cara Delevingne. You're right. Yeah, yeah.
Like,
When she
there's no
became the
L.
model person. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just like to me, The Simpsons have never really been like, "Hey, here's our celebrity of the week" kind of thing. Because yeah,
Mm.
they did have some. I'm not saying they didn't. They had John Goodman as Santa Claus. They had Beck as Beck kind of thing. But that's a little different because it was a head in a jar as himself.
Lucy Liu. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a
Yeah.
little more straightforward, I guess I would say, but it wasn't like a feature around that person. And I have no idea if that was a situation with this, but just it kind of just felt shoehorned. They could have got Tress McNeil to
Well,
play
funny enough,
Nelson or
actually,
whatever.
when I first heard Jambone, I was like, oh, I wonder, like I was
This sounds different, right?
well, I was pretty sure that it was going to be some celebrity, but I hadn't checked at the time. But at the time, though, I was also thinking like, oh, it could easily be the person who plays Qbert. I can't remember
Yeah,
her
that's what I thought too.
Kat
Yeah, yeah,
Sochi or whatever her name is.
yeah.
I thought it could have been her, and then she just changed her. I was like, oh, okay, cool. They got her like
Well,
another
she's a voice
voice
actress.
for
Yeah,
her. But then I saw it and I was like, oh, okay, no, that's definitely the actress. I'm like, okay, I don't know who that is, so I had to look it up and like, oh, her. Okay,
yeah.
I
She looks
mean,
familiar. Where's she from? And then
yeah.
ding, 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 ding. Oh yeah, I know her
All
from
right.
that. From
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's where I
So
knew her from too.
yeah, so I was just like, okay, well, I mean, great that she got some work with this, and it's great that she played this character. But I mean, oh, I mean, they could also make the argument with Marianne, right? Like Amelia Clark has just played that character once. She was literally there for that. But that
True.
episode seemed well, at the time we thought it had consequences, right? Because we're
Yes.
like, oh, hey, she'll be showing up because that Zoidberg's a main character. We're going to see her with Zoidberg from now on, and it hasn't.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there's some argument there, but Jambone is definitely not coming back. So, anyway, yeah, I'd say
Hopefully, yeah.
it's just a random episode for sure. Is
Well,
it worth a skip? No, I mean you can watch
if
it.
I mean, if you want to, yeah,
Yeah,
it's not necessarily. I mean, you could do that with any episode, really. There's no overall arcing. It doesn't connect to the
yeah,
greater story
yeah.
of Futurama.
True. But I mean,
Nothing really has though.
I wouldn't recommend skipping this episode. I just wouldn't say like you need to watch it. Like
Ah,
it's just one of those things, right? Like I definitely say Numberland Gap, go ahead and skip it.
skip,
Boring as
skip.
hell unless you love math. Unless you love math, go ahead
No,
and
no, no,
watch it.
not just any math. Super math.
Super math. Yeah. Or in what's the other
Hypothetical.
one? The Murderoni. Skip Murderoni because it does nothing for the show, and it actually
Badly
screws over
written.
continuity. Yeah.
Yeah, it
So
changes continuity.
yeah.
Yeah, this one is the lesser of the season, but it's
Mhm.
not the least.
Exactly. Yeah. I'd say this episode, like I still don't mind it, but I definitely don't really think much of it. It's very bare. However, going against what I had said in my predictions, I'm not going to give it a 5. I will give it a 6. It is more than passable. There
Yeah,
are
so
funny scenes.
I'll give it a 6. Yeah,
Yep. I think you had said 6 in your predictions originally anyway, so it worked out. And yeah, there's not much else to really say about this episode,
it's just
honestly.
a
It's
meh episode with some good jokes in there, and
yep. Yep.
it doesn't really. I don't know. Like just watching all the like looking at the titles of these things.
Mhm.
There's like, do any of these kind of create a broader story for Futurama? Like Destroy Tall Monsters. Does that carry
Mm,
on? The world is hot enough. That's more of just like a hey, you guys suck at world climate change. 50 Shades of Green was a little interesting because
kind of.
it kind of
Yeah.
grew Fry's love a little bit,
Yeah,
not
like, it
much, but
pushed
it
them a
added
little bit
to it.
closer together, I guess, but again, we never see Branch, and honestly, out of all the
Yeah,
characters they've introduced in this show so far, like, in this
he
season, like, Branch would have
was
been
awesome.
hilarious to see
Yeah.
again, yeah, but whatever.
Numberland Gap, no, it
No,
didn't really do much. Scared Screenless, kind of a little teeny tiny bit because we
a
saw
little
another
bit,
waterfall.
and I do enjoy yes, and I do enjoy we did get a little bit more with Axel, despite saying,
Yeah,
like, maybe Axel could use a little bit more character development, we did get a bit more with him, and I like him with Cubert and Dwight, I think that's a nice connection, and
Wicked
obviously Zach
Human.
Brannigan's hilarious, so
Oh yeah, I need more Zap Brannigan. Not where you put him in a bad position like in
no.
canceled Zap
No,
Brannigan.
like a side character as he's good in with his
He,
one-liners. That's what
yes,
you need him with.
he needs to create a situation where they need to get out of, but he still comes out on top.
Right.
Like when
You
him
give
and
me too
Leela went
little
to
credit.
go,
Yes.
yeah, went to go kill a satellite and then landed back on Earth. That was a great amount of Zap Brannigan because he was
Right.
very proud of some stuff he did.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm actually proud of this
I'm
one.
actually proud of this one. So yeah, and Zap has some good main episodes or whatever, but yeah, definitely as a background character. But yes, for that one, Scared Screenless does give that,
Yeah.
and then
Wicked Human, not much consequence there.
oh Christ, I even forgot about
It's just
Wicked Human. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
not much there. Yep,
Murderoni,
as
that
I
one was
said,
terrible. The
yeah,
guy who wrote it just hates Futurama.
don't
Take a
watch it.
paycheck.
Yeah, not worth it.
Crab
Splatter.
Splatter did add it
Yeah.
grew Leela and Zoidberg
Yep. We can
kind of
only
thing, right?
hope that it
We'll
continues it.
yeah
Yep.
yeah we'll see if it holds because if it doesn't, then it just cuts it off
Mm,
and it's just like yeah. Trouble for
nothing.
Truffles, it didn't really add much. Like Bender loves cooking, and you think that he'd want to cook with this stuff, and
And he
that's
loves, yeah, and he loves
yeah.
money. And he likes getting rich quick.
Yeah, he like nothing changed for him. He just
Nope.
he thought he was gonna get lots of money, and he
Yep.
almost did, and then he didn't,
Yep.
and then nothing happened.
And then
And then
the
we have the last episode, the White Hole,
yep.
which we'll
I
talk
was going
about
to
in
say
the
as
next
well,
one.
like the robot mafia will also take advantage of the characters. I do like that they kind of reference that the fact that they've worked with them so many times at this point that they kind of know each other. Like it's like, oh, I should have known better that you'd be like asking for something, right? And yeah, they screwed over the Planet Express just like they have before, right? Like we've seen this a few times in the past.
Hundreds
Sometimes
of
better,
times.
yep. But literally, like this episode, I guess, is basically what an episode of Bender trying to get rich quick entails. They hit every single marker, every single
But the
thing,
end.
except the end. I get well, even the end, it just doesn't have a very good landing as some of the other ones have. But it's basically the same thing. It's just with a different storyline. Just now we're with Truffles.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
then, out of all the Bender episodes, would this one be at the bottom, like the very bottom?
I mean,
Because
probably it's the
I just coming
newest,
up,
so
yeah,
it's
the coming off the top of my head, the one where with the X9 robot, whatever, right? He
okay.
learned at the end there, like just you have to accept reality as it is, and he kind of
Mhm.
created his own reality.
Sure, sure.
There was one where he worked with the mafia. He got paid at the end, and he was happy about it.
He did, and
He
then he's like,
also
"I'm
got
gonna
out
go
of it.
back to petty theft instead of organized crime." Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
Yep. Even though they
30%
don't
Iron Chef.
recognize him as Blotto, but what?
Yeah, blood. That's funny. I said that, chaps. How's it going? Ooh, I like this new
I'm sorry.
one of you,
No, they
Blotto.
know he's Bender, but they've never pieced together that he now works for them. Just kind of
Oh
funny.
yeah,
But in any case, yes. So okay, that one, and then any other episode like
thirty
where it's
percent
just
Iron
him doing
Chef.
his thing.
Yeah,
Oh, right, 30%. I'd say that one's probably the best.
it's definitely up there. The one with Beck in it too. The one I
Beck is
brought up
good,
earlier.
or even the other one when he becomes a folk singer. I mean, with
The 3D printer one.
the 3D
Yeah,
printer one. I mean, that one's probably not very good, honestly.
it's one of
It's
the
one of
lesser of the
the
ones I've
lesser ones.
said.
I'd say
Yeah.
this one's probably like on par with that one, honestly.
You know what? I don't know. I think
Yeah,
I definitely like that one more than this one because of the folk song "Lord, Lord"
right.
kind of thing. And then
Sure.
it's like, oh yeah, of course, I would never make a bender that would think to outthink to himself kind of thing, so that way he would never die. No, I made him think that he was gonna like never be immortal, so that's why he died.
Right, right.
Ah, so
So,
I don't know. Just like I said, I feel like this is probably the least of all the Bender episodes.
sure. Yeah, I'd say it's probably one of the bottom as well. But okay, anything more then to say of
Oh yeah, lots,
this one?
but I think
Yeah,
everything I've mentioned is probably more
probably
or
enough
less the
for
same
it. Yeah,
thing. Yeah,
sure. Yeah, no, this one, yeah, the Trouble with Truffles. It is what it is. Yeah, 6 out of 10 overall.
5.9. It's a very soft six,
The
a
soft six.
liquidy six. Yeah.
Ugh. So we'll finish it off there. Yeah, thanks again, man, for joining me for this. And yeah, please, everybody, like, share, subscribe, comment for all things Futurama. And yeah, we'll see everybody next time when we discuss the finale of the season or portion of the season, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
The White
mid-season.
Hole. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what to call it.
we'll call it this. We'll call it the season. But yeah, the White Hole. And yeah, see everybody there. So have a good one, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, you too. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.